Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Beauty and Difference podcast, where I share the stories of individuals who have learned to not just accept, but celebrate who they are, celebrate their difference in hopes that we all can too. Today, I'm here with Alana,
Hi, my
and
name's Alana.
yeah, she's just going to share her story with us. So you can go ahead and share your story.
Hi, my name's Alana. I'm from New Jersey, and I'm also a PA student as well as Maddie. And so my journey started when I was 1.5 years old. My mom took me to NYU, where she found Dr. Rosen, who's still my doctor to this day, for my venous malformation. And I started having treatments when I was 6 years old on my arm. One day I woke up like in severe pain, and my mom knew that it was time to contact Dr. Rosen again at that point. So at this point, I'm 25 years old, and I've had 25 direct stick embolization sclerotherapy treatments on my venous malformation, which is on my arm. So it's from my underarm all the way to my pinky. And these treatments have like helped control like the growth of my arm and prevent it from getting too big.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit more about your journey to PA school. So, did having a vascular birthmark play any role in you choosing the PA route?
It definitely did. I always looked up to my doctor's PA. At the time when I was younger, she was always very like outgoing and very nice and understanding of my condition. And that's how I learned about the PA role. And since I was younger, even in high school, I knew that I always wanted to be a PA. And through like volunteering and meeting a few doctors through there, I was able to shadow a PA dermatologist to gather like some more hours and get some more information. And the person that I did work with was affiliated with the Vascular Birthmark Foundation as well.
That is so awesome there at the end that they had an affiliation. Um,
Yes.
but yeah, I was the same way. I feel like your experiences shape maybe your career, just like things you're interested in life
Mhm.
so much. And I was the same exact way. I loved the patient interaction I got with my PA and just how much time we had together, how much she cared about me and like treated me not just like physically with my birthmark, but also emotionally, because there's so much emotional stress that goes into a condition like this as well. So going off of that, how did you come to, celebrate yourself and post about your birthmark and put it out there? Because I feel like for a lot of us, it's hard.
Yeah, it's definitely really hard, especially when I was younger. Like I was getting like comments in middle school mostly about people like saying like my arm like is disgusting, more comments like that than ever. It was like through an anonymous like platform where you could post comments. So people were using that to post mean comments towards me. And I actually started my birthmark awareness account when I was in middle school, and it was to post those mean comments and post them on Instagram so that everybody gets to see them. And this was probably like in 2013. And so I ended up meeting a lot of people through like hashtags were a big thing back then. And I was able to meet so many different people. And that really like made me want to open up and share my story and help people get the best care that they can get. Because a lot of people were coming to me with questions about what doctors can even treat them and which treatments they should even get for their venous malformation. And a lot of people were often like times misdiagnosed as well.
Wow. You were helping people emotionally by showing them that like you were able to get through that. You were able to take these people's comments and turn it around and make an account about it that's, now promoting your birthmark and helping other individuals. So you were able to do that and also help them physically because they're able to find ways to get treated when they might not have known how, or even being misdiagnosed. Like I can't imagine the relief that they found when they found your account. I mean, that is just that's absolutely amazing. With the direct stick embolization and you having 25 of those, how did you kind of keep a good mindset throughout that?
I think it like mainly started like from when I was younger. Like my mom would always tell me like that it's something that is never going to be fixed completely. Like it's not something that they can treat and it'll be gone forever. And that like through these treatments, we're just treating like the symptoms that I'm having, which is like the chronic pain every day and the swelling. So I always understood that it would just help like at the point of like reducing the swelling and just helping my pain, but not so much that I'll never have to um go back again. So I kind of expected I would usually go like once or twice a year. And I felt like my mom was like one of my biggest supporters at the time. And she would always make it like a fun trip. I used to have to stay overnight at the hospital. So we used to bring like my toys and everything when I was younger, and it would be like a really fun like sleepover night at the hospital. So I did look forward to these treatments. I knew that I was going to experience like some pain, but in the end, they always managed my pain very well, and I usually had like minimal, moderate pain after my procedures, which did help, especially when I was younger.
It's so funny how similar the two of us are because I was the same exact way. I looked forward to going to New York. Was it scary for my mom to take her daughter from Ohio to New York to get treatment and, not know how long we're going to be there and just like the fear of the unknown? But it was fun also because we got to like enjoy a trip going to New York City and recognize that I was still being treated, that something was still going to allow me to feel better about it. A question that I get asked a lot, and a question that I'm curious of your answer to is, I mean, I think we both know an answer to it, but I just want to hear like your perspective on it. People often think that the treatments we're getting are for cosmetic reasons. If you could just elaborate on that for yourself and, the extent of what these treatments are actually doing for you, and if there is a cosmetic agent to it, I would love to hear that as well.
Yeah, I never really cared like about the appearance of my arm to me. So like the cosmetics like is definitely not the reasoning of why I'm getting the treatments. It's mainly to ensure that I still will have function in my arm, hopefully throughout the rest of my life. But yeah, cosmetics are not really a thing when you have a venous malformation. And in some of the procedures, I actually did get like keloid scars or some blisters. So in one way, it did negatively affect my appearance and my venous malformation as well. So these treatments are just to make sure that I'll be able to still have my arm and still be able to use it properly and help like control the growth and decrease the swelling.
Yeah, I have the same response as you. I kind of giggle when people ask, but I mean some people genuinely just don't know, but I have to tell them like this is venous, this is vascular, so this is affecting my, blood vessels. It's not just something that I'm getting surgery to remove the scarring or the blueness in color. It's truly something that I need in order to relieve the pressure and the symptoms and make sure that, I'm gonna maintain healthiness in my veins throughout my life. So I love that answer, and I was the same exact way. My last question for you is there anything you would like to say to an individual who relates to you in any way, whether that be your birthmark, your story going to PA school? What would your biggest piece of advice to them be?
One of my biggest piece of advice is to definitely be yourself, because if you pretend that you're somebody that you're not, it will most likely get you nowhere. And in order to for me getting into PA school, I was just acting like myself. I didn't act like anybody else, and I was definitely not general with my responses in my PA interviews as well. And I was very much myself, and being like more personable is definitely a good way to help you get into PA school too. But just mainly don't follow anybody else and be yourself and stand out.
Double hand claps for that one. That is absolutely amazing. That is the biggest, the most overlooked piece of advice, in my opinion. I think people like they just kind of take that with a grain of salt. They're like, oh, everyone tells me to be myself. I am myself. But you realize in times like PA school or like for me in pageantry, when you like look back on it, you're like, wait, I really wasn't being myself. I thought I was because of what I was telling myself, but I really wasn't. And then once you decide to start being yourself, you'll see such a big difference in just how you feel and like the I guess success that you're reaching for, whether that be PA school or feeling good after an interview. Just once you're yourself, that's when you will truly flourish. So I absolutely love that. Thank you for coming here today and taking the time
Thank
to
you.
talk with me. Alana's story just goes to show the true beauty and difference. And when I say that, I mean it.